Well, from humble beginnings as a tea seller to one of the most powerful leaders in the world. But just who is India's Prime Minister Narendra Modi? That's exactly what the ABC South Asia correspondent Avani Dias is uncovering in a fabulous new podcast. It is called Looking for Modi, and I spoke to Avani earlier.
That's right, Michael, and Narendra Modi's life story is so fascinating because it's one that he's told to the masses and he's managed to connect with ordinary Indians through it. As you say, he's had this humble upbringing growing up on a train station as the son of a tea seller. He then was living in a very poor family home with his siblings and his parents. And this is a story that has managed to create the most popular leader in the world at the moment when you go by approval ratings and social media followings. For the last 10 years that Narendra Modi has been Prime Minister, he's had this tight grip on power, and despite this being a democracy, he's set to win another election later this year. So it's been really interesting to watch this story that he's been selling, watching Indians, regular Indians, connect with it. But what I'm questioning through this podcast, I'm travelling around India, I'm trying to find out how much of this story is true, how much of it is just for his political gain.
He is a polarising figure. He's been accused of deliberately widening the religious divide in India. Take us through what you found on that front.
Yeah, and Michael, that's been something that I've been watching the last few years as the South Asia correspondent. Narendra Modi's been accused of targeting religious minorities, especially the Muslim minority, by creating what's called a Hindu nationalist state. And it's been really fascinating to explore his political roots because, Michael, he started off in politics as an 8-year-old in his state of Gujarat in the west of India. He joined what's believed to be the largest far-right organisation in the world. It's called the RSS, and it has this ideology that India, which is a secular country where hundreds of millions of people follow all kinds of religions, there are many Muslims, Sikhs, Christians and so on, but it is a Hindu majority country, and the RSS believes that this should be a Hindu dominant state, not a secular one. And Modi has risen through the political ranks through the RSS, and many critics say that he's now enacting its ideology by putting in legislation that is targeting minorities. Now, in the podcast, in the first episode that's out today, we've actually gained rare access to a meeting of the RSS, which runs very similarly to how it did when Modi was a child. We see these young men doing martial arts. They chant Hindu nationalist slogans. It's really fascinating to see how this sort of indoctrination process, according to researchers, works. And the fact that this is the roots of what is one of the most powerful leaders in the world at the moment.
For somebody so popular and clearly the best-known figure in India, Narendra Modi keeps his personal life, Avani, very secret, and you've made some discoveries on that front.
Oh, this has been one of the most fascinating parts of Narendra Modi's story that I've been peeling back the layers of. In India, it is really popular and it resonates with regular voters to be a single leader. People here like this idea of a person who dedicates their whole life to this country and nothing else. Mahatma Gandhi, who famously led India's independence movement, was famously celibate. The current opposition leader, Rahul Gandhi, is openly single. And Narendra Modi, throughout his political career, has been telling people this idea that he is also dedicated himself only to this country, that he is single as well. But 10 years ago, in 2014, when he first ran for Prime Minister, it came out that he had a wife. So he was arranged to this woman when he was just a toddler. They didn't actually get engaged until they were teenagers in Gujarat in Western India, and then they actually got married. But Narendra Modi left his wife when he was 18, and he actually left to the Himalayas in the north of the country to try and become a monk, and never spoke about her again for many decades until it came out. And Modi and his aides have gone to huge lengths to actually keep this part of his story quiet. So we've gone to Gujarat, we've gone to try and find Narendra Modi's secret wife, and it's been so interesting to see that, you know, just down the road from where I am in the middle of Delhi, Narendra Modi's prime ministerial residence is this huge sprawling bungalow, but we saw where she lived, it's this tiny village, this tiny home. She's just an ordinary woman and they don't speak anymore. So in the podcast, we're going looking for her and we're going to find out why he's kept this wife a secret.